evening, everyone. Welcome to ULTV Study Abroad 101. I'm Shifali Srivastav, Marketing and Communication Manager at University Living. Although studying abroad is an expensive affair, it is not impossible with the right planning. Funding options plays an important role in the planning itself. And it's very common for students to apply for scholarship and education loan. So we are here to assist you with all the funding options that you might need for your dream come true. And who better than GyanDhan, India's first and largest marketplace for education financing, to assist you with this. We are joined by Aman, Jain, Chief Marketing Officer at GyanDhan. Hi Aman, how are you?
Hi Shifali. I'm good. Thanks a lot for inviting me here today.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm pretty sure the session is going to be very interesting. We do get a lot of question around education loans, and there is a lot of ambiguity around the topic. And I'm pretty sure you're the right person to help out the student with the questions. So without further ado, let's start. But before we dive into the conversation about education loans, if you can just enlighten us about GyanDhan, what exactly GyanDhan does and how does it help with the study abroad journey for students?
Sure. So GyanDhan is, as you mentioned, India's first education loan financing marketplace. We started back in 2016 with an aim to disrupt education financing market here in India. So for the student, GyanDhan is a platform where you can come at any point in time in your journey. Like when you are thinking about abroad education and you want to know, hey, whether will I be eligible for a loan or not? Or at the time when you are waiting for an admit or you have received an admit, that is when actually you need a loan. At any point in time, you can come on our website, check the loan eligibility. And out of all the loan options available in the market, you can, within 120 seconds, you can know that, okay, hey, this is the best education loan for me. You can know whether I will be eligible for the loan or not, what will be the interest rate, what will be the documents required. So in a way, we make your process simple enough, ensuring you get the education loan from the comfort of your home. Since we've started, we've helped 10,000 students in getting education loans for their abroad education for all the major countries, be it US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, many European countries. And at present, are approximately 20% of the students who go abroad check their loan eligibility at GyanDhan to start with that, okay, hey, whether I will be eligible for the loan.
Perfect. So it's not wrong to say that you guys are like Amazon, or in our case, like University Living provide accommodation, marketplace. Right. You have all the details information related to loan. So if anyone who wants to get an education loan, they can just come on the site, fill on the details, and they'll get the right selection, right?
Right. Not only you get to know what education you will get, but also then you get assigned a personalized loan counselor who then help you end to end, including the documentation. In fact, wherever the physical documents require, we come to your home, pick up the documents and submit it in the branch. So you don't have to go out of the home. And in fact, this service was very helpful during the COVID times where our relationship managers were going to the students' home, picking up the documents and helping them out. We work with almost all the major lenders in the market, be it State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, many international and private lenders. So again, it's a place where you will be, it's more like, okay, there is a place where you can apply and automatically you will get to know out of all the 10, 12 options in the market, which is the best loan option for you.
Right. So do Google everything if you want to do, but if you do not want to invest your time in Google, just go to GyanDhan, write information, and they'll assign a person also who is legitimate to guide you in your journey for education loan, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now I'll dive into the conversation that we have. Now, there is a lot of comparison that happens between education loan and personal loan when students are applying to study abroad. Why this comparison is there, and what is the difference? Why education loan is always better than personal loan, or why personal loan, just in case if you want to enlighten us over there also.
Right. So earlier when there was no education loan around, right, people used to arrange money from other means, and personal loans was one of them. But I would say when you are looking for a money specific for a purpose such as education, go for an education loan rather than the personal loan. Not only you will get a lower rate of interest, but the entire process will be smooth. The operations will be of this particular use case. So for example, the money to be transferred into the university account, there are specific ways through which the money to be transferred, right? If you apply for the personal loan, all such things will not be there. Most importantly, apart from the interest rate and all, if you take an education loan from the bank, you or your co-applicant will be eligible for the tax benefits as well. So that is another cherry on the top that you get, that, okay, whatever interest that you're paying to the bank, on that interest, you don't have to pay tax to the government, that you don't get into the personal. So definitely this loan product, education loan as a finance instrument, has been designed specifically for this particular use case. Then why you are going out of the way and applying for other loan when this particular facilities is available out?
Right. And I think tax saving is something, as soon as everybody's hearing, they're all ears here.
Yeah, definitely. It reduces your interest cost almost by 1/3. So let's say if your parents are in 30% tax bracket and your interest rate is 9%. So if you are taking tax benefit, then your effective interest rate goes as low as 6.3%. So in a way, I am getting money at 6.3%, which is amazing, right? Even if you do FD, you don't get, like, you get that amount. This is one of the lowest rate that you will get out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now I have a question. So a student can also get an education loan, or is it taken by the parents?
No. So education loan, the primary applicant will always be the student. The parents or anybody else will be the co-applicant. So they will also be equally liable to repay the loan. But the first principal liability is of the student to repay the loan.
So they're like the guarantor.
They're more of, yeah, they're like guarantor. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So are there any, like, is there more than one type of student or education loan available in the market?
Three kinds of banks are banks, NBFCs, and the international lenders. And all of these players gives two types of loan, which is secured loan and unsecured loan. Right now, if I have to compare both of them, so let's compare both. First kind of loan, which is secured versus unsecured. With my eyes closed, I can always recommend to go for a secured loan from a bank, and that too from a public sector bank. So if you have a property, if you have a FD which you can give as a collateral, go for a public sector bank. For example, SBI. They will give you a loan at the lower rate of interest, and on the top of that, you will be eligible for the tax benefits as well. Another good thing about this public sector bank secured loan is that you don't have to pay while you study. So your repayment starts after you graduate. So let's say I'm going for a 4-year course or 2-year course. So for this 2 years, I don't have to pay even a single penny to the bank. When I get a job, even after that 6 months, I will get more to start repayment of the loan. And you can always prepay, right? Whereas in the unsecured loan, not only that, those are difficult to get because lenders are more conservative, more skeptic when they evaluate for an unsecured loan as compared to the secured loan, but that comes at a higher rate of interest. So just to give you a sense, secured loan you can get at 9% or so. Unsecured loan starts at 10.5%, and majority of the students will get it around 11-12%. So on a loan of 40 lakh rupees, the difference of 1% leads to 2 to 2.5 lakh rupees difference in the interest rate over the course of the loan. So if there is a difference of 3% or so, then that is a difference of around 7-8 lakh rupees over the course of the loan. Better to apply for the right loan, save that money, maybe gift a car to your parents after you graduate by saving that money.
Right, right. And just to understand, this unsecured loan is also provided the same entities?
Can you repeat the question?
The unsecured loan is also provided by the same entities like bank, NBFCs and others?
Right. So unsecured loan, primarily banks, and that to public sector banks, they don't give more than 7.5 lakh rupees. Private banks these days are giving up to 40-50 lakh rupees, and so does the NBFCs and international players. Unsecured loans are primarily very specific to two things. One is the college and course you're going to. So every bank, every lender has their list of colleges and courses for which they give the unsecured loan. So if I'm going to any other college or course apart from that, then you will not be able to get an unsecured loan. Second thing that they're tied to, especially the Indian lenders, is your co-applicant income. So to get a loan of, let's say, 30 lakh rupees, your co-applicant, who can be your father, mother, or some close relative, they need to earn 55,000 rupees per month to get a 30 lakh rupee loan. Now, this income needs to be provable by the documents. Now, what happens in many cases is that usually people have co-applicant earning members in the family, but they don't file ITR. And so because there is no proof of the income, you are not then become eligible for the unsecured loan. But
Okay.
there are always exceptions. So let's say if you
Okay.
get a
idea needs. Sorry.
yeah, I just wanted to end that with like there are always exceptions. Like let's say if you have 335 in your GRE, right, or 760 in your GMAT. In that case, that's a separate thing. So there will be exceptions around. Yeah.
Okay. So and the idea needs to be at least 3 years or 4 years, something.
3 years. 3 years. Yeah.
3 years or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And one more question before I dive into the next. I know I'm asking so many questions, but actually we get these kind of questions only for our community. So how does the scholarship and loan together work?
Right. See, so a scholarship is the best thing that can happen to any study abroad aspirant. Is the free money. If you get it, you don't have to return it back. There is no added pressure of returning the money back while you're studying. You are more free in terms of the choices that you can make in your career. You don't have to go for a most high paying job to repay the loan. So obviously, if you can get the scholarship, there is nothing like it. But the truth with the scholarship, that's only very few get it. But what I feel about scholarship is that usually people don't apply for all the scholarships that they are eligible for. So many scholarships have deadlines at the time of application only. But what students do is that at the time they are figuring out this college application part, and they miss out the scholarship opportunities. So you will have to be proactive around finding the right scholarship. So whenever you get the scholarship, let's say if your overall expenses is 40 lakh rupees and you got a scholarship of 10 lakh rupees, use that money first and then go for the loan, obviously.
Loan. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Does make sense. Now, how can a student apply for education loan?
Yeah, so as a part of GyanDhan's team, I would say just log on to gyandhan.com and you will be able to see check loan eligibility button. But there are many ways through which you can apply. One is obviously through portals like us, which are giving you entire digital experience of applying for an education loan instantly. Even at night, 12 o'clock, you want to check the eligibility, you can check. But apart from that, you can always go to the bankers. So let's say if you are doing banking with SBI, Axis, you can go there, talk to them. That is another thing through which, and each bank has their own application form on their platform. But the problem there is that when you apply, you get a call back after so many days, or when you reach to the bank, you might not find the correct person at that point in time. So all of that problem will be there. So it's best to apply via again portals like GyanDhan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are the prerequisites and documents required to apply for education loan?
Right. So in terms of the documentation, again, it varies with the kind of loan that you're applying for and where you're applying for. But generally speaking, so from the student, we'll need the academic documents. So when I say academic document, that means 10, 12 mark sheet. Then if you have done undergrad, then undergrad mark sheet. If you're given any GRE, IELTS, TOEFL, GMAT, the score sheet of that, and the proof of admission to the university that you're going. So that is the academic documents. Now comes the second part of the documents that will be required from the student is the KYC documents. KYC is again their Aadhaar card, PAN card, address proof, and then the bank statement of the student. So these are the documents that is required from the student. Now coming from the co-applicant. Now in case of secured loan, not only you need the KYC documents, which is again Aadhaar card, PAN card, bank, and the address proofs, but obviously the bank statement and the income proof. So when I say the income proof, if you are salaried, then salary slips, and the salary credit needs to be visible in the bank account every month. Usually they check for 6 months. So if you are self-employed, then 3-year ITR, which we were just discussing. So all of those documents needs to be there. And if you're applying for a secured loan, so apart from these documents, let's say if you're applying for the loan with property, then another set of documents of the property will be required. Now this include your sale deed, which tells that okay, property belongs to you. There is a approved map, which is a like map of your property approved by the local government authority. Then there are many other deeds that is required, tax receipt, electricity bill. So all of these documents, and this varies largely by banks. locations. It's always better to research beforehand, so that all the documents you have in the one place only while you're applying. So that is as far as the documents are required. Now, in terms of the eligibility, so if you have a collateral, then the collateral value should be sufficient, equivalent to the value of the loan amount that you're looking for. So if you're looking for a 30 lakh rupees loan, then the 30 lakh rupee collateral needs to be there. If you are looking for unsecured loan, then the co-applicant income, which again we just discussed, that for a 30 lakh rupee loan, 55,000 around income should be there of the co-applicant. Apart from that, the other thing that they check is the CIBIL score or the credit score. So your and yours co-applicant credit score should either it should not be there at all, like you have not taken anything in the past, or if you have taken, then it should be good. So these are the things that make you eligible for an education.
Right, right. Now, you've already mentioned that there are many providers in the market to provide loans. There are different kinds of banks, NBFCs, private and public sector and all. So what factors one should consider? How to select the right provider?
Sure. So that's a very interesting question, because what usually students do is they just hear the word rate of interest. Okay, this player is giving me 1% low, I will go ahead with this, right? So rate of interest is just one of the factors that you need to take into consideration. Obviously, go for the lowest. But apart from that, you need to look at the processing fee, that how much processing fee that they are charging. Like, for example, international lender charge up to 5% processing fee, which you are not supposed to pay upfront, but that gets included in your repayments. But they charge you 5% just as the processing, right? And even if you compare banks versus NBFCs charge 1 to 2% processing fee, versus bank just charge 10,000 rupees is a processing fee. So rate of interest, then the processing fee, then prepayment penalty. Now, let's say if you want to prepay, are they charging you any penalty? Now, apart from that, tax benefits. So only and only if you take loan from the banks, you are eligible for the tax benefits, and just one NBFC. Apart from that, if you take loan from any other NBFC, any international lender, you're not eligible for the tax benefit. So you don't do that calculation that, okay, I will be saving 30% of the entire interest as the tax, right? So it might be possible that, okay, hey, I'm getting, let's say, 11% from the bank, 10.5% from the NBFC, but then bank is a better option because you will get the tax benefit on the top of the interest that you are paying to them. And last thing that one should consider is the currency that you are taking the loan. So now international lenders give you loans in USD, pounds, euro. Now, what happens is India is a developing country, and there are mathematical models available out there which tells that, okay, our currency will depreciate with time because we are a developing country. As I was mentioning, the other thing that the student needs to look at is the currency. So now India is a developing country, and there are mathematical models available out there which tells that the Indian currency will depreciate with time. Now think of it in this way. Let's say somebody who went abroad in 2012, then 1 USD was 45 rupees. Now 1 USD is 80 rupees. So with each USD that I'm earning there, I am able to repay more money here in India, right? Now, even if you don't compare it with 2012 to 2022, you compare with 2016 to 2022. So you anyway going to keep loan life for 6-7 years, and in 6 to 7 years, the currency will depreciate a lot. So each dollar, pound, euro that you earn, you are able to repay more money here in India, and that again lowers your interest burden or overall cost of the loan. Whereas if you take in USD euro, then you have to pay in USD euro. So that is another factor that one need to consider.
And this is a very interesting fact, to be honest. This is the first time that I'm learning this, that if you take loan in INR, then this is the benefit that you get. And it's actually, it makes really sense. It's very logically proven. So guys, this is secret tip for today. Don't mess on this. Right. Anyone who's watching, who will be watching this. Okay, now there's another question that comes a lot, and you already mentioned that scholarship also does with this. What all expense does education loan cover? If you're taking a 30 lakh loan, what all expenses are covered when I'm over there, when I'm in UK, US, Ireland?
Yeah. So I would start with you will get loan to even eat a burger. So everything and anything related to your education expense and the complementary expenses that comes along with that, all of is financed by the lender, provided that you mention upfront, right? So if you just go to the bank and say that, okay, I need 30 lakh rupees, then obviously bank will give you 30 lakh rupees. They will do all their checks and all. But if you go to the bank, say that, okay, I need 30 lakh rupees for my tuition fee, then I need 5 lakh rupees for my rent, then another 3 lakh rupees for my travel, another 2 lakh rupees for my laptop, and so on and so forth, and another 2 lakh rupees for my mess. And my total expense comes around, let's say, 45 lakh rupees. Then bank will give you 45 lakh rupees at the end of it. So everything can be financed. It is just that you have to mention upfront that, and you need to, obviously for your own benefit as well, not need to know upfront only that how much approximate cost I have to be to complete this degree.
Okay, so just to understand, do we need to provide some kind of substance proof for all these kind of loans? Names that you have taken, for example, if we are eating outside, do we need to justify it? Like in
No,
tax,
so
we usually do.
this used to be the case earlier, but these days banks just either give you money in the account or give you a prepaid card, and you can get it loaded again and again every 6 months or every 3 months. So okay. No need to, yeah. For small expenses, no need to give any proof. For big expenses, yes, you need.
Okay. So the money is not given to the student in one go. It is given in break points.
Yeah. See, so if there is a need in one go, also you can get the money. But why would you, let's say 10 lakh rupees you need in 2 years. If you take it today, then you have to pay interest from today. Whereas you just take 5 lakh rupees today, then 5 lakh rupees 6 months down the line, then you save the interest on the next 5 lakh rupees in the first 6 months, right? So it's always recommended and better use it as you need it. And again, disbursement processes are now becoming more easier with all online. Just you need to request and money comes to your account. All of that, it's very simple now these days.
Okay, correct. So if I'm doing a 3-year course in UK, for example, and then I should take the education loan divided into like 3 amounts, so that every year I get a certain amount, and then I have to repay from after 3.5 years or 4 years something.
No, so money will be sanctioned in one go for the entire 3 years. Disbursement will be done in 3 parts. Right.
It will happen over the period. Okay, so we've already covered the question, but I'm going to come back on this later. Okay, now compared to domestic students, for example, any student who's studying in India, they also take education loan. How this education loan is different from the education loan that one gets when they are going abroad to study?
See, so as far as the process is concerned, is pretty much the same. Almost same documents are required apart from the test scores and that. It's just that the international loans for international studies are more scrutinized compared to domestic ones because the loan amounts are higher, right? So there, if the defaults happen, it will be 5 lakh, 4 lakh, but in international end, it will be 50 lakh, 40 lakh. So it is more, now it can be good and bad both, but it is more processed. It is more organized for an international loan. The processes are more organized as compared to the domestic loans. But apart from that, the process for both is almost the same. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Now, we've already discussed a little bit part of this in our previous answer. So what is the process of sanctioning the loan?
Right. So when you apply for an education loan, and once you have decided that, okay, this is the bank lender that I take the loan from, so just before I go ahead from there, I want to mention that don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? When you are applying, and that is what usually we also, do for our students here at GyanDhan, that we start their process at multiple lender in one go. Like they just upload the document on our platform, and with their consent, we start it with 3 lender, 5 lenders. So not only, let's say, if one lender is rejecting, then I have another offer. And also that helps me in the negotiating the interest rate and processing fee, which we do. So once you decided that, okay, hey, you have to apply for an education loan to this banks, every bank will give you the list of documents you need to collect and submit. Now the submission can be online or in person. That depends on which lender you are applying for. Post that, they log in the file in the system. If the file is logged in the system, that means more or less the documentation is done. Now, once the login happens in the system of a bank or in a lender, post that they do a documents verification. So they will check the PAN card that you uploaded, whether that PAN card is like if that number exists or not, and they will check your date of birth and everything. Everything gets checked. It's not like you're just giving documents. Everything gets checked. Your Aadhaar card gets checked. Bank statement that gets checked if the bank account exists or not. And in fact, now there are solutions are coming where I can find directly get information from the bank about this particular bank statements and also. So everything gets checked, including CIBIL, and then they give the decision. If it is approved, then you get to know that the loan is approved. At that point in time, depending on which lender you are applying for, you need to pay the processing fee or so, and you get the sanction letter in your inbox or in person as well if you need. So that is more or less the process of loan sanction. In the secured loan, but obviously there will be an additional step of evaluating the collateral. So there will be a property lawyer and property evaluator who will come to your home, will look at the house, and will prepare a report which needs to get submitted with at the bank during the process. So that is an additional step in the secured loan.
Understood. Understood. Now the sanction has happened. Now the disbursement part comes, which we already discussed in parts. So how the disbursement happens in the loan part? Right.
So many students, once their loan gets sanctioned, they sort of feel that everything is done. But I would say only 60% of the work is done. 40% still remains, especially in the loan with collateral, because there is a disbursement process that needs to be followed. So once the loan is sanctioned, after that, there is an agreement that needs to be signed. So agreement comes to your home. You need to sign that agreement, send it back. Or at times you have to go to the bank, sign it. Or in very few lenders, it will be an online signature. Once the agreement is signed, then you have to give the bank the schedule of expenses. That okay, this is how I'll be needing money, right? Then you will have to request for that particular amount. That okay, I need this money, and then the bank, depending on what is the expense. If it is the tuition fee, then bank directly transfer it to the university. If it is living expenses, then the bank transfer it to you. Now, even transferring to the universities, there are different processes. So let's say if the bank has to transfer, so they transfer it to your, or the NBFCs to transfer, they transfer it to your account. They lien market. That is another process that so that the money cannot be used for any other purpose, only for transfer to the university. And then that transfer itself happens via Forex player. So if you then transfer that money to a Forex vendor, who then transfer it to the university. So this is the process, right? Now, this needs to be done. And if it is secured loan, then the mortgage original documents needs to submit it at the bank. You need to go to a government office and create your mortgage certification or kind of thing. That is another thing that needs to be done in the loan with property. So this is the thing that needs to be done to get the money in the account. And then you get the money in the account, and that is the first disbursement. Once the first disbursement is done, then subsequent disbursements are very easy. All you need to do is just email them that, okay, I need this money, and then transfer them.
Okay. Now, I have a question. So you mentioned that just in case if there is a collateral involvement, then you need to go and get a mortgage, certification. This is done by the co-op, or is it done by the student?
No. So usually if you are applying on your own, then bank will tell you to do this step. Go get a notary done and all of this. There you will have to get done. With us, in the major cities, we have a relationship officer that gets done everything. So we'll go and get it done for you. You don't need to worry. But yeah, bank people definitely help you out. It's not like that they will leave you out there. They'll help you out that, okay, go there, get this thing done. But then physically you have to go and get that thing done. Yeah.
Understood. Okay. Okay. Now I have one more question with respect to the whole thing, because now the sanction has happened, disbursement has happened. Now the payment part comes. So right. What if I took a loan and I got a very good high-paying job at Google or Amazon, and now I just want to foreclose my education loan? Now, what is the process of that? And is there any hidden negatives for this if I foreclose the loan earlier than the decide period?
Right. So usually in this industry, there are no prepayment charges But I would recommend everyone, when you are signing the agreement, at that time, check if there is any premium. In the agreement, it is written to close the loan, you have to pay certain amount or so. So there is no other, but usually there are no prepayment charges. Now, how the loan is being closed, again, you have to get in touch with the concerned person at the bank. You need to tell them that, okay, hey, I'm closing the loan. Obviously, they will ask you why you're closing, keep it live, and all of that. But you then once they are convinced that okay, you have to close, post that they will give you a foreclosure letter, uh, uh, telling you that okay, you have to close this loan, this much amount as of today you have to pay. Now this might change tomorrow because it's an interest-based loan. Interest is being calculated on day-to-day basis. So usually when you get created this foreclosure letter, at that point in time only you have to transfer the money, and then they close the loan, and then they give you a sort of again a letter mentioning that your loan is closed, and that gets reflected in a couple of months everywhere in your credit scores and everywhere. Yeah. So it's very simple. Yeah. All you have to do is reach out, get to know that okay, this is the amount you pay, and then you do it.
It's easy if you have read the document while signing the agreement,
Yeah.
so that you know that there is no fee required.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't affect the CIBIL just in case if somebody forecloses the loan, does it?
Oh, prepayment doesn't. Yeah. Prepayment doesn't impact your CIBIL. Yeah.
Okay. Now I have another question, which is actually against the whole conversation that we had, but I thought it's okay to identify the topics here. So, is there any alternative to the education loan?
Right. So, so I think we have come to the full circle. So we started with discussing personal loan. So as I mentioned that if you can get an education loan, go ahead with that. But usually there are times and situations when you're not able to get it because of non-availability of the documents or collateral. In that case, the alternates are loans, but other kind of loans. One is personal loan, loan against property. At times, I have seen people taking business loans and using that money for their, uh, child education or so. So that is something that I've seen now. Apart from loan, there is no other alternative. You need to have money and loans. Then there are different kind of loans that you can apply.
Right. Yeah. And as you mentioned, we are almost, the circle is closed now.
Yeah.
So we are almost done with our question. But I have one question where I want to understand that GyanDhan relationship manager, I believe, do they assist the student throughout the journey till the loan is closed, or what is the whole process? Till what time you guys are there to help the student?
Right. So our relationship with the student is not just for the 10 days, 15 days. It is for the entire 10 years of the loan. So people whom we have helped in 2016-17, they also reach out to us even today because getting anything done at the bank or the lender is not that easy. For example, you want to close the loan, but the person with whom you have taken the loan, that has changed. The branch manager has changed. The relationship manager has changed. The number that you used to have interaction with, that number is not reachable anymore. What do? Either you ask your parents to go visit that branch and get it done, or again, you get in touch with GyanDhan. Let us know that, okay, this is what needs to be done. We know how to get it done. So the relationship is for entire 10 to 15 years. In fact, people when need subsequent disbursement, at that point in time also, they reach out to us for second semester, third semester. In fact, these days, because of the currency depreciation and inflation, people were finding themselves short of money. Somebody who took the loan last year, 40 lakh rupees, now there is sudden inflation and the currency is depreciated by 7-8%. Now, many people were finding them short of 4-5 lakh rupees. So we even helped them with a top-up loan. In fact, that is one loan that we started on our own. So we also have an NBFC license, and we can also lend ourselves apart from all the partners that we have. So wherever possible, we pitch in ourselves. And this was one of the situation where it literally gave our own money to the students in the form of top-up loan to complete their education. So again, it's a relationship, long-term relationship that we look at with the students and help them out wherever possible. And more importantly, like, we don't charge anything from the students. So our revenue model is such that we earn in other ways, but not from the student. So for student, it's completely free of cost.
For students, it's always free. And of course, with respect to, you mentioned it pretty well in 10 years, the whole decade has gone, everything changes. So yeah, if you have someone which is a point of contact for a longer period, that definitely helps. So we are almost done, to be honest, Aman. Thank you so much for joining us. Any 2 cents of wisdom for the viewers who will be watching this?
So I just say, first of all, obviously, it's all, when you start thinking about abroad, think once about expenses, that how will you get the expenses, but then your focus literally should be on getting the best admit out there from the best university and getting the scholarships. If you get an admit from the good university, obviously you will need to have good scores and everything, and you might be eligible for the scholarship as well. Once that is done, then only think of loan. If you have, believe me, if you have an admit from a good college, then financing will fall in place, because you're going to a good college, people will want to give you money. 10 people will be after you to give you money. But if you're not going to a so good college, right, then you might find it difficult to get money. The second advice is, don't just go blindly. Like, let's say somebody told you that, okay, I took it from this bank or this lender. Do your own research. Just like when you buy a phone, you compare it on Amazon, Flipkart, then you go to a shop nearby, you check, okay, if there are any discount, any credit card discount. So that is a cost of 15, 20, 30,000 rupees that you're doing. Whereas education loan is going to be one of the costliest product of your life. You are buying a product worth 40, 50 lakh rupees. So you need to have your financial research done right. So that is something that I definitely want to let students know, that just don't go by the words of one person, or not even just my words as well. Do your own research and then come to a conclusion that, okay, this is what I need to do.
Right. And Aman, actually, this has become our mantra in every ULTV, every UniRep, any such student helping provider we talk. They all has the same answer to, since research is really important, guys. So we'll close our session on 3 words, and I hope that you guys practice that: research, plan, and execute. So on this note, we'll be closing our session. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you find it useful. Looking forward to seeing you guys next Friday, 5 p.m. on ULTV Study Abroad 101. Stay tuned to our social media handles for more information. Thank you. Thank you so much, Aman, for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.